It's hard to laugh when you're dealing with Michael Reagan and this fellowship. It's equally hard to not laugh. I think we all realize that the word Taliban was never clearly defined. It was sublimated into our vocabulary. It was sort of injected into our vocabulary by linguistic anthropologists from places like Harvard and MIT. And somebody who was really pernicious as a fact checker might come to a squabble with conservative support for Obama by saying it meant the list of CIA agents who were um, setting up the massacre of Afghanistan's to monger casualties for the Russians who um, were notoriously protective of the rights of women, according to Chomsky. I have no way of knowing. I know that Dan Rather went there, said whoosh. But it's not really defined, so there's a background sound. It becomes a wallflower in the psyche. I think we all know what we mean by a Taliban. A Taliban is a set of constructs that are assumptions that you dare not um, investigate further. They're a set of that you better not deviate from. And the National Review has a Taliban. For example, they say that Biden's paranoid schizophrenia about oil companies um, conspiring to drive up the cost of fossil fuels to bilk Europe um, as opportunists on Putin's invasion of the Ukraine, or as a fallacy within a fallacy within a misconstruct, all put through Jaime Carbonell's computers to get to the bamboozlement that Biden presents as the truth. When in reality, it would take hundreds of thousands of people agreeing to price hikes that they would put in their pocket for such a conspiracy to exist. And the National Review just don't laugh. That's a big number. That big number is the square root of the money, the amount of dollars they would make. So, and they don't blink an eye. No, sir. Large numbers of people can't be power suggestion can't be used. Greed can't be used to create a bandwagon. No, that's conspiracy misconstruction put through Jaime Carbonell's computer with a special elixir of senility added. So, Mr. Biden, you better pipe down. Well, they have this ethic in play throughout the storyline of James Child come trot, trot, trot to the scene of Julie Sellers' house, who's named in the Burstyn script to say conspiracies can't work because all it takes is one person to squawk. Well, I squawked and squawked and squawked and squawked. It doesn't do any good. But more to the point, it's a challenge. Bush loves to dare. It's like mothers against DD. DDDDD, Kennedy debunk the port, Kennebunk port, Kennedy. He loves to dare. And as Abraham Lincoln said, you can fool some of the people all the time and all the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And Bushington was like, want to make a bet? And they mongered up with the Beatles this hypnos story, this double fantasy idea. So let me give a challenge to the rudimentary conservatives. We won't call them imbeciles. They're not retards. They're well stocked with facts and ideas. They intimidate with facts and ideas. They just lay them out. They're cooks of statistics. They give me some. They keep them in spice jars. Here's some monetarist data. They have a data machine, a bot that cooks with spice at data. Data, give us some more of that conservative um, name base. Let's count the votes in Florida circuit. They have lots of itinerary. Loopy doopy doopy doop. You can't reason with them because they're one step ahead of you on every. They outfox the foxes. So I'll give you 2 points to run by your astral plane tabulator, National Review Taliban. My being in D.C. the day that John Hinckley shot James Brady and the circumstances surrounding it. Let's get that one. Get that pinpoint exact. Put up your witnesses and have them explain that. All of it. With CBS News films to boot. Get all that. That's one. I said I'd give you two. When there's thousands of examples of this conspiracy, I said I'd give you two. Already you're squirming in your chair. You don't want to deal with that. No. You're turning up the Ashkenazi on the piano, ain't you? Mm-hmm. You don't want to deal with one. I've given you two. Ronnie Zinsky, who attacked me on Hampton, terrorized me, and Kasper Owski. Ronnie and Casper, those two. One, my being in D.C., and two, those individuals in 1973 attacking me with Tokyo Sucker Punch, blindside, right? Okay. So two examples. And I'm saying that's not paranoia, that's evidence of paranormal. That's evidence of conspiracy, right? So put on your little, Dilton Doily spinner up there, Beanie and Cecil, and pin that tail on that donkey. Tell me exactly what that says about me, that I believe that those two facts are somehow interrelated and why they're not. Be sure to ladle it on with your data, salt and pepper. Okay, P.S. We love you. Grandma me some Wormtongue from that Taliban of yours, National Review. Tell me what's real and true. How about that? How about that? You have the floor. I'll give you 6 weeks. How long ever you want. You've taken years with your Taliban presumptions. I mean, Shulman was ineffable, unquestionable, unfathomable back in the 80s. He had the dope on Queerbo. Remember? I remember too. Yeah, nice to see you again. Good old buddies. Nice to see you.